There are a few things in life as a female that you feel pressured to do. Once you give birth, breastfeeding is one of them. I really wanted to be good. I really wanted to be able to breastfeed my son, but from experience, I knew that sometimes it wasn't always the mother, but sometimes it was the child who was unable to latch. So this was something that I felt passionate about, and so I wanted to share with you guys my breastfeeding journey, my experience, as well as some of my product recommendations. At the time of filming this video, I've been breastfeeding Tommy for 8 months, exclusively for 6 months. Yay, that's what they recommend. However, it wasn't always all smiles. It was really hard in the beginning. And to be honest, I almost gave up. So let's start at the beginning. Since I wanted to breastfeed, I did take a class beforehand. However, by the time Tommy came, I kind of forgot everything. Luckily, Nick came with me and he did remember some of the pointers. So after Tommy was born, there was a lactation consultant in the hospital to kind of help me, but let's be honest, she wasn't that helpful. Tommy latched on the first night for about 45 minutes and it hurt. However, from what people said, they said it was supposed to hurt. So I let him continue nursing. A few days later, I want to say about 7 days later after he was born, I had mastitis. So I was back in the hospital. What mastitis is, it's basically an infection and I needed to take an antibiotic to clear it up. Not fun, super painful, and it felt like I had the flu, legit. What I did, this is a video on my experience, not how to actually breastfeed. I exclusively breastfed from the right side that did not have the cracked nipple and was not excruciatingly painful. And I pumped on the left side. Now this is how I actually built up my stash in the freezer, was during these few weeks here that I had mastitis. So Tommy exclusively breastfed from my right side, and the left side I was pumping because it was just too painful to let him latch. I really researched to see if that would be okay, and all the books said that's fine, he'll get enough. And he gained about a ½ pound every week until about 5 months, so they were right, it was enough. People also said, just give it 2 weeks and then the pain goes away. The pain did not go away after 2 weeks. It was super uncomfortable for at least 4. I think it was about at week 6 that it finally was no longer, I needed to like bite my lower lip painful. So some people probably had an easier experience. Again, this video is just my experience. 6 weeks was the magic number. Everybody who said 2 lied. One tip that my sister and sister-in-law told me was to bring nursing bras to the hospital when you give birth. So I only had about 3 nursing bras at the time. One was wireless, one was a sports bra, and one did have wires. I got most of them through Motherhood Maternity. Other popular nursing bras that other people really like include Bravado, which is about $44. I'm reading this because I don't use them. I'm reading what other people suggested. Leading Lady Wireless, $39 for 2 of them. Bella Bum Bum, Lotus Nursing Bra, $42. Lucy's List is a great resource. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely go check out Lucy's List. I have a link down below in the more information. I also had some built-in bra tank tops. I literally lived in the built-in bra tank tops the first 2 weeks that Tommy was born. You leak when you breastfeed. I did not know this. So if you're breastfeeding on the right side, the left side will start to leak. So you have to use these pads to absorb the breast milk. And sometimes in the beginning, you leak for no reason. Maybe the baby's just crying and your milk starts to let down. So if you are watching this and your baby hasn't been born yet, you need to register for these pads so that you don't have wet spots on all of your shirts. Something nobody told me about. Also in the beginning, when your nipples are super chapped and uncomfortable and it's painful, at the hospital they do give you some creams to reduce that pain. I found that the natural organic ones that I researched online did shit for me. The only things that actually did help soothe were the lanolin and also the cooling packs. They have these large circles. I don't have any more of them, and they're kind of like jelly. You can keep them in the fridge and then you put them on your boob when you're not breastfeeding. When you are breastfeeding, you take them off and you have to wipe it off, which isn't the most fun thing to do. But these chill gel kind of pads were amazing. So one question that I get a lot is what I wore to go running, especially in the beginning. So in the beginning, you got a lot of milk. And when I got the go-ahead from my doctor that I could return to exercise, I would pump before I would go running, and then I would put on a sports bra that was super tight. I actually bought a bra from Moving Comfort, the Juno bra, and that was all I wore in the beginning. Since then, I've been able to wear some of my other sports bras that are still really tight, like the Lululemon Tata Tamer. I have a few from Adidas that I can wear as well. But in the beginning, I only wore the Moving Comfort Juno bra. I washed it after each time I wore it because I really didn't have time to run that much. I didn't want to go out and spend all this money on a whole new set of sports bras when I have lots. So I would pump, run, and by the time I got home, Tommy wanted to eat again, because in the beginning they eat like every 2 hours. When it came to working out, my milk supply was not affected. I never really changed my diet. I didn't reduce the amount of calories that I was consuming. So my milk supply did not change when I introduced fitness back into my regular routine. A lot of you guys were curious if that was the case, and a lot of you even warned me. However, that never happened. I trained for a half marathon and my milk supply was fine. I know a lot of other people have different experiences, but I didn't take any supplements other than my postnatal supplements. I didn't do any of the lactation cookies. I did buy tea. I probably had 3 cups of it. So my diet did not affect my supply, and neither did my fitness, but I eat kind of healthy diet. Prior to breastfeeding, I read that it burned up to 800 calories a day. I was super excited about this extra burn. So did breastfeeding help me lose weight? It did, and it didn't. Breastfeeding makes you super hungry. This is not something that I took into account. I didn't realize this before Tommy was born. So while yes, breastfeeding is burning a lot of calories, you're still kind of consuming more calories than you would if you weren't. So unless you enjoy feeling hungry all the time, then sure, you can lose weight. But it just wasn't something that I enjoyed feeling, especially when I was short on sleep. So breastfeeding did help burn a lot of calories. I did eat a lot of cookies and drink wine, and I didn't gain weight. So did breastfeeding help me lose weight? Eventually. If you want to lose it quicker, you're going to have to really work at it. It's not going to come as easy as some people make it sound. So I'm gonna try to breastfeed Tommy until a year. I enjoy doing it. It really kind of feels like nothing at this point, whereas it was really painful in the beginning to nurse. It was painful to run, and now I'm able to run pain-free. I'm able to nurse pain-free. It's honestly easier for me than to pump, give him a bottle, or cheaper than to give him formula. I'm not against giving formula. They've perfected those recipes, they're fine, but it is expensive, and giving breast milk is free, and I don't have to wash all of those bottles. So that's why I'm gonna continue to do it. If you're having trouble, think about hiring a lactation consultant. They're super helpful, but also don't beat yourself up about it. Some people aren't able to breastfeed, and it's not their fault. Sometimes it has to do with the tongue tie of the kid, or sometimes the kid may have a misdiagnosed disability that is preventing them from being able to actually properly latch. So it's not your fault. Don't beat yourself up about it. And some people just don't want to breastfeed. That wasn't me. It was something I wanted to do. Studies have shown numerous benefits. I'm not gonna list them here because that's not what kind of video this is. This is just about my experience. But if you guys have any other questions about my breastfeeding experience, leave it down below, and also click the link for more info, links to products that I mentioned in this video over on my blog, Sarah Fit. I'll see you soon.